today we've been talking about how to deal with anxiety, and we're going to be doing more on that. But a lot of people had asked me about how you can stay motivated when, it's really difficult when you might only have a couple of you at home, or there's a handful of you living in the same space, and you've not got to be out of the door by a certain time, so you can't keep motivated. So all of the things we've been covering over the past 5 weeks on mindfulness will all keep you motivated. I'm just going to give you a refresher and a reminder of the things that we've done and how you can put those into practice to keep yourself motivated, especially when it's like things like coursework or homework, or stuff the school have set you or college have set you, or even if you're working from home and you've got no one on your back as such to keep you motivated, and then you're kind of thinking, I've let that slip, should have done that, all these shoulds that aren't very good for you, and then it kind of mounts up, and then you're thinking, it's a mountain to climb, right? So we just get rid of all of that. All right, we're going to work through this, and we're going to work out how to stay motivated, because it's really hard when it feels like you've got a mountain to climb. Okay, so I want to know if you actually did have any scary first times that you noticed anyway, that this is the first time for all of us being in lockdown. It's not like any other thing we've ever known. Even for my dad, who's 76, he doesn't ever remember anything like this. Okay, strange times for everybody. It's a new one for everyone. So we also talked about how those scary first times are just our brains, the monkey brain in us, that goes, okay, I'm going to protect you. This is something you've never done before, so you need to be wary because this could have an impact on you. Yeah, but I also reminded you to look for what's the best thing that can come out of that situation. And I think you probably found that more good things can come out of a situation than the bad things that are going over in your mind to protect you. That are most probably never going to happen. All right. So it's about, even if they're very real, things that could happen out of a situation, you're looking for solutions, and it's about asking for help and asking questions. So never feeling like you're on your own, whether that's calling a friend or calling a helpline, anything, to ask questions to someone who has done this before. So, or people that have the knowledge about a situation. Okay, when it's the first time, no one could be angry at you for not knowing, because you've never done it before. We spoke all about that. So hopefully that helped last week's session. We've learned new coping mechanisms and different things that we've covered since we've been doing mindfulness are about getting enough vitamin C, the liposomal vitamin C, so that your body can actually use the vitamin C rather than the ascorbic acid, which doesn't get absorbed. Your vitamin D from the sun, so making sure you're getting enough fresh air and being out in the sun. The meditations that we've been doing. The gratefuls, so your gratitude diaries. I think a lot of the people that have been doing a gratitude diary have seen a very big increase in their happiness level, and perhaps they've not noticed, but this will have made an impact on their motivation. So even though they might be dipping in motivation, it won't be as bad as it will have felt if they hadn't been doing their gratitude diaries. Because your gratitude diary will show you what is good in your life, and it shows you what makes you happy, and it kind of pushes you to do more of that. So when you look back at your gratitude diary, I encourage you to look back at your gratitude diary. to see what things made you happy and try to do more of those things and incorporate them in your day so that life doesn't feel all about chores. Okay, they can be really small things that actually make your day really nice. We talked about a gratitude rock or crystal to just bring you back to feeling grateful when you're feeling overwhelmed. We talked about sleep. So how important it is that you're sleeping well. If you're not sleeping well and getting enough sleep, you're not going to feel motivated because you're going to just want to go back to sleep. So getting to sleep at a good time. So remember, we talked about the 10 till 2 being your mental repair and the 2 till 6 being your physical repair. Your physical repair and then your mental repair. Okay, so you need to be considering that and getting enough sleep for your age. If you're a young child, you need more than you do as a teenager. So yeah, also before going to sleep, limiting the amount of technology that's around you so that you're getting sound sleep, and you will wake with a clearer mind. Turn your phone off, turn off any gadgets that are around you, take your Fitbit off. It's all sending little electrical pulses and keeping your brain quite active. We talked about the 6 human needs and how it's important to fill those 6 human needs. If you're not doing that within your work, you're not going to feel motivated to do it. Okay, so get into the habit of doing things that make you happy, make you feel good after you've done them. So you look at your list of priorities as well and what's important to you. So your 6 human needs that we spoke about a way back, if you're not fulfilling those needs, then you're not going to want to do what you want to do. And then that comes onto the behaviours of doing all things that make you really happy and leaving behind the things that are hard work. So they're instant gratification or make you feel good immediately, but they're not kind of getting rid of that monkey off your back. So it's like carrying a monkey on your back when you've got loads and loads of stuff to do that you don't want to do. Just get it off your back, okay? It's about prioritising stuff. So yes, so this is all we've talked about in the mindfulness, which is good for motivation, all right? So have a pen and paper by your bed before you go to sleep. And anything that's in your mind, just get it down on a piece of paper. Maybe if it makes you feel good, plan your day for the next day, but don't beat yourself up if the next day you don't cover everything. It's just giving you a rough plan of the things that you'd like to get done. And then looking at priorities. What has to be done and is very important, you need to put in one box. What's very important but doesn't have to be done immediately. So there's 4 sections here. Okay, so you can write this down if you like. So you've got very important, must be done. Very important, but isn't essential right now. Then you've got not important, but must be done. And not important, and doesn't have to be done yet. So there's 4 boxes. So you can write into those 4 boxes. You can kind of have it on a piece of paper like this. And you can kind of see, oh, okay, these are my priorities list. It's a really good way of organising your brain if that's the way your brain works. For some people, this won't work. So it's putting into your little boxes. And you will have it even, hopefully, of all the things. So the things that have got to be done, like immediately, work out a list of in what order. You're going to pick one of those off. What you want to really do is try and get those things done earlier in the day. But think about what your reward can be for doing that. Think of something that is fun or that makes you quite happy. Okay. Even if that's getting out into the sunshine to get your vitamin D, incorporate maybe going out, kicking a ball about in the back garden, maybe taking your dog for a walk. There's a number of things that you may have found over the past few weeks that is your new thing to make you happy. That's a release for you, maybe drawing, painting. But don't allow yourself that until you've completed one of the must be done, needs to be done, like now kind of thing. And then you can have some kind of fun afterwards, something to look forward to. Another thing to do is think about that thing that you have to get done. For instance, homework. Look at that area. Is there anything in that you actually quite like and you enjoy? Okay, try and home in on that rather than the bigger picture and put things into bite-sized chunks. Looking at a whole mountain is much more difficult than looking at the first few steps. And when you look at, say, you've got a mountain and you've got the first ledge to get to, just looking at that ledge and not looking any further than that and praising yourself when you get to that first ledge. Okay, so putting your things into bite-sized chunks, and you feel so much better after doing that. Okay, so you need to be doing meditations as well if you're wanting to become more motivated in these kind of times. The meditation can look like a waste of time. I used to think that myself. So when I meditate regularly, it makes me much more productive, and it's just known to work like that. We don't know how, it just does. Just emptying your mind of all the rubbish. And a good time to do that is first thing in the morning. Some of you might find it better for you at night, but it actually is better for you to do first thing in the morning, because if you can clear your mind in the morning, then the rest of the day actually really pans out nicely. I know that earlier in the week, Bella actually said, I've been doing my gratitude diary, and the days have just been so much better for doing the gratitude diary. Yeah. So because you're starting thinking of the things you're thankful for and being quite happy, and that in itself makes you feel more motivated because you know you're going to get something good out of the day. Reduce your interaction with technology if you can, because often you'll be on your phone and it'll be like, oh, and that, and then you get something else pop up and you'll have a look at that, and before you know it, an hour's gone. Then you're kicking yourself saying, oh, I should have done this and I should have done that in that hour, and that's wasted. Limit yourself on the time that you have on your phone. Maybe give yourself 5 minutes an hour. That's quite a lot, really, because if you think about it, 5 minutes an hour is how many minutes? 30 minutes in 6 hours. So you've got 2 hours on the phone. That's quite a lot, isn't it? A day. 2 hours on the phone a day if you did 5 minutes an hour. So try and work out a plan that works for you, that you limit yourself. Another thing to do that can kind of bring you back to being quite mindful and in the present and not to be running away with all your thoughts is to set an alarm once an hour on your phone, to just spend 2 minutes checking back in with yourself, sitting down, closing your eyes, thinking about, how does my body feel? How are my emotions? What's making me feel that? And unraveling some stuff that you may have built over the last hour. It's a really good thing to do. And I think you'll be surprised by how much calmer you feel throughout the day. So I have rabbited on quite a lot, and it sounds like I've just covered old stuff, but it's just to remind you that you've got everything that you need in you to be motivated and to feel accomplished. So part of the motivation is to feel like you're accomplished. Okay, so if you're choosing to do things that don't fill your needs, you're never going to feel motivated to do anything. So try and fit the things that you need to do around your needs. And if they don't fulfill your needs and they are they're a necessity or they're necessary, then get them done first thing so they're not hanging over you for the rest of the day. And only do a set amount of time and what you can cope with. Don't beat yourself up for not being able to hold focus on something you don't like for 2 hours straight. Give yourself regular breaks. So I'm going to give you a meditation to do. If you can find somewhere comfortable, as we usually do, and keep your feet flat on the ground. If you've got a wooden floor, take your socks off. Let your feet ground themselves. Okay. And close your eyes and sit comfortably with your back straight. Okay. I want you to think of something that you do every day that you've learned to love, or that you really love, or a moment, or something you do every day, or would like to do every day that's simple and easy. It may be sitting with your dog or an animal and petting them for a couple of minutes, or 5 minutes, or an hour, whatever's right for you. And think of the feeling that that gives you. And set this as your goal to have when you've done any of the mundane things that you don't necessarily love to do. Remember what that feeling feels like. Okay, just think of what that feeling feels like. Now give that lots of light, lots of sunshine and warmth in your belly or in your heart. And just see that thing happening. Now think of something that you are resisting doing, whether it's work or something like that, or homework. And notice what your body did when I spoke of that something that you're resisting doing. Did you feel tension anywhere? If you felt tension, tense that part of your body as hard as you can. Now fill it up, that part of your body, keep tensing it, fill it up with the light of the colour of the thing that you love doing. And release it, just relax and let that feeling go. It's not really there. It's just your gut reaction to feeling the way that you do when it's something you don't really want to. Now think of this thing and breaking it down so that you only have to deal with small chunks at a time. Surround it with that colour of the feeling that you love, and think of the things that you do like about this area in your life. There may be just one small part, but hone in on that and work around the things that you do love in this, and do small chunks of the things that you're not so keen on, just knowing that you will get to the end of the task bit by bit, just like climbing a mountain. Now think of how it feels when you have completed a task that you really didn't want to do, but it's over, it's done. And now you can have, whatever you like, you can go on doing what you planned as your fun thing. Just remember that feeling. And now we're going to just do an exercise of tensing through your body and releasing, and noticing where the tension is. So just scan from the top of your head with your eyes closed, just in your mind's eye, looking all around the top of your head. Is there any tension around your head and your temples, to your teeth? Does your jaw clench? And try and tighten wherever feels tension. Tighten the muscles really tight, and then release them. Working down through your neck. Is there tension here, or in your shoulders, arms, hands, across your chest? And notice where there may be some tension. Pull it in tight. Squeeze your muscles. Give it the colour of the thing that you love doing, and then relax and release. Breathe in through your nose and fill your lungs. Hold that breath at the top and release your breath. Feel around your torso, down to your hips. Where is there tension? Have you had enough water? Tense any areas that need to be released and give them light and love. And down your legs, past your knees and into your feet. Tense any area that you may feel some tension. Hold it tight and then release. And notice your soles of your feet becoming part of the floor and just growing little roots into the earth to ground you. You are doing all that you can and all that keeps you at peace. It's all good. And when you can, just fill yourself up with light and your favourite colour that makes you happy, all over from top to toe. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come back in the room. Excellent. Okay. Well, hopefully that's helped. We will be going back onto the subject of coping with anxiety again next week. But I'd love to hear if any of your stories, okay, around your motivation, and if this talk has helped you, or any of the other subjects that we've covered before. Yeah. So, gonna love and leave you, and we shall see you on Monday for the morning stretch. And then I'll see you next Friday for another mindfulness talk.